What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video from Tourmaline. And today we're covering a video that I've been wanting to cover for so long, from the Diary of a CEO. This is the interview of Martha Beck. Apparently, she's the life coach of Oprah Winfrey. Anyways, we go through an amazing segment here, going back to the same idea of the importance of integrity, the importance of telling the truth to the best of our abilities. Now, of course, I think in this life, it's difficult to be perfect on this front, maybe near impossible. So we'll, of course, strive for that and do our best to approach that. But why is it important? Not for the commonplace, hackneyed reasons that we're often fed, just that it's something that we should be doing for some external force that's watching us, and they know when we're lying, or this type of thing, right? Or maybe as a societal moral good. No, this is an argument for the importance of integrity, even for yourself, the importance of telling the truth for yourself, for your own strength. Okay. And this specific person, Martha Beck, is talking about how lying makes you actually physically weak. So this is mind blowing. And again, this touches back to the ideas that we've discussed on this channel: the law of resonance, phronesis, other Hindu concepts, which basically talk about the idea of the relationship between your own integrity, your own proclivity towards the truth in this life, away from lies and dishonesty, and how that relates to your strength, and ultimately your discernment, your ability to you itself decipher between what's true and false. And we're coming back to this basic idea that when you are deceptive, when you are dishonest, that muddles the truth and lies in your mind when you're trying to read it from the outside. She doesn't explicitly say that here, but again, it reinforces this general idea that I've talked about, that Howdy Mikowski has talked about, this idea that we should try and live in integrity and in an honest life, not for you, not for the government, not for anybody, for yourself, because it's literally strengthening and empowering yourself. Now we're going to get into this amazing example here. I saw this a while ago. Somebody sent me this clip. So incredible. We're going to watch a live demonstration of literally how lying, how dishonesty affects your body in real time.
You know, the body-mind interface is not, there's not much separation. And for me, one of the things I talked about in the way of integrity is that when we lie, our bodies get very weak. So, like I could do a simple little hokey test with you where I could, oh, you want to do it? Okay. So stick your arm out.
Yeah.
And hold it up. Don't let me push it down. Okay.
Don't let me push it down.
Yeah. Okay. Got that. Now I want you to do that while lying. And the lie I'd like you to say is, I love to vomit.
Okay. I love to vomit.
Say it holding your arm up.
Yeah.
Say it.
I love to vomit. Why? That's so weird.
Now say, I love fresh air.
I love fresh air.
I'm trying my very hard. Let's say it again.
I love fresh air.
Now say, I love to vomit.
I love to vomit. Why is that? That's so strange.
This is why polygraph machines work on everybody with psychopaths.
Just for people that couldn't see that because they were listening, when, I don't know if I've just been like messed with in some way, but when I said I love to vomit.
Let me pause it real quick. I don't even know why they throw up this fact check and they say, hey, it remains unproven. Who cares? This demonstration is insane. We don't need a university funded study to show this. That happened real time on camera. That's wild. That's so wild that it's showing. Like, why do we need this fact check? Anyways, okay, so he's going to explain a little bit more. They're going to talk. It's so interesting.
She could push my hand down. Mm-hmm. But when I said I love fresh air, she couldn't push my hand down. And she was trying both times. She was pushing hard both times. And I would think that I'd be able to resist both forces. But when I said I love to vomit, it was like, the only way I can describe it was I wasn't actually connected to my strength and my hand.
Exactly.
I wasn't in, it was like I was inside my head, so I couldn't also at the same time think about you're about to push me.
Right.
It was like there was two different systems.
Yes, because the body lives in reality. The body is honest. Only the mind, and only the verbal mind, can lie to us and tell us things that we can believe, even though they're not true. So I love to vomit is a statement that says it's okay for me to feel horrible. But a smaller version of this is I often speak to groups, and often they're in like hotel ballrooms or in auditoriums. And I'll stop right in the middle of the speech and say, apropos of nothing, is everyone comfortable? And they'll say, yes. And no, really, truly, are you genuinely comfortable? Are you really comfortable? And they say, yes, go on with your speech. And then I say, so how many of you, if you were sitting at home alone, if you were at home alone right now, how many of you would be in exactly the position you're in at this moment? And nobody raises a hand. And then I say, why not? And they have to sit and think for a long time before someone finally says, I'm not completely comfortable this way. And I would say, well, that's okay, because humans can tolerate a lot of suffering, and this is mild. What concerns me and should concern you is that 30 seconds ago, you swore to me in broad daylight that you were absolutely comfortable while you knew you weren't.
Okay, let's pause it here. So there's so much to cover. So this is a great point right here. This idea that just this little question allows us to really revisit the idea of what does it mean to be truthful, right? We think somebody asks us a question. Did you cross the road illegally? Normally I would say no, because I don't want to get a ticket, but now maybe we should say yes. It's not just that simple. What she's saying is in these basic questions, like I've been thinking about this a lot, basic interactions, something like that. Are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And you're really not. Like, think about all the different ways that we've been conditioned in society to just say things that help us squeeze by and squeak by and not really cause a stir, not really cause a commotion. And so I think we're lying to such a large degree to keep on a good, nice, pleasant demeanor and face for society that we've just become accustomed to it. So even though like those big moments that we think about, hey, you shouldn't lie to the police, or you shouldn't lie to your employer, to your loved ones, or all this stuff. Sure, that's in there. And we can be following those principles and following those practices, no problem. But there's probably so many areas in our life where we're lying and we're weakening ourselves. We're hurting our discernment. We don't even realize it. So I just thought this was really cool to think about every little interaction that we have, every little question that we get asked, every little, just a little stuff. Like you see sometimes people at social gatherings will be like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, blah, blah. I mean, this is a more of an extreme example. Then the person walks away like, honestly, I don't really like that guy. Like that's a form of dishonesty. You just shook their hand and were nice to their face. And then as soon as they turned away, you maybe you even said it to just your spouse or somebody, but then you're still kind of, you're doing something a little grimy, a little shady. And that's just so normal in our society. But I think we need to take another look at that and reevaluate those actions. Again, not for other people, not for even that person that you're kind of spewing out negativity towards, but for yourself. Because I believe ultimately all this stuff harms yourself. It makes you weak. Now, why did his hand go down, right? You might say, well, it's not all this complicated stuff that you're talking about, law of resonance and phronesis or whatever affecting your discernment. It's just your mind is preoccupied, right? Your mind is preoccupied with the lie, maybe because you have to think about it more. And look, there could be other explanations or reasons or rationales for this, but I just thought it was a very interesting thing to show that your body physically gets weaker by this experiment, or maybe your mind gets distracted, whatever it may be, but it's affecting your mental state in a noticeable, palpable way with a very, very minimal lie. So imagine if you're in a relationship and you're cheating on somebody, you're just constantly in this, you're living a lie all the time, or you're telling I don't know, whatever it may be, you're telling everybody something about yourself that's just not true, and you have to maintain this. Imagine what that must do to you, potentially physically, not to mention the discernment. So I think it all wraps together, and I thought this was a beautiful illustration. Okay, now we're going to go to the second part of this clip where she comes back to this idea of the truth will set you free. What's interesting here is I believe she's actually had a near-death experience, because she describes this light and everything like that. So I nearly died, so I stopped lying. So there's something that what brought on this change was an NDE, which is very interesting. But anyways, let me play this clip and then I'll react to it.
You say, from what I've understood, that you vowed not to lie.
Yeah, in any way, like not with my actions, not with even my facial expressions. And the reason was I had heard the truth will set you free. I had studied so many wisdom traditions, looking everywhere for a reason not to commit suicide.
By the way, she has gone through his traumatic life and whatnot. So she's on this search. But coming back to that, she said, I don't even want to lie with my facial expressions. Think about that. Think about how many people out there will see somebody that they really dislike and they'll smile. And you know it's a fake smile, but they put on that smile to disarm that person and make them think it's a welcoming smile. And then as soon as they walk away, they're like, no, I don't like that person or something. That's a lie, right? We don't think about it because it's just so conditioned within us that is acceptable, normal behavior. Again, great example here, great reminder to reevaluate a lot of these things that we just have been programmed into us.
I mean, I had really looked. I knew a lot of religious texts, philosophical texts. I had homework. And over and over and over and over, it said, the truth will set you free. I was like, in Mormonism, they said the truth is what we've written down here. And it was bogus and phony. And I was like, no. But the light was far more true than anything else I'd ever experienced. It was far more real. So I was like, okay, if truth takes me there, and it told me, not verbally, but it said, look, you've been thinking that you could kill yourself and feel better. And I am telling you that you are meant to learn to feel this way, the way you feel with me now, when you're alive, always. So go and do that. And what I really did was it wasn't even a choice. It was an absolute obsession. I would not live in such a way that I was not conscious of the presence of that light. And that meant every time I lied, you felt how weak you got when you just said something that wasn't true. I felt it withdraw, or myself. You can't withdraw from it. It's everywhere, I believe. But I felt myself less conscious of it. And I was like, okay, that's not going to work. So I decided what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say what's real, do what's real. If a thought comes in that feels like it's pulling me away from that light, I will question that thought. It can't be real. It doesn't set me free. It doesn't bring me into that. I'm going to just investigate everything until I find what feels truest to me. Knowing, by the way, that, as one of my favorite Indian sages says, the only true statement the mind can make is, I do not know. Because we could be dreaming all this. We could.
All right, I'll stop it here. Again, this comes back to, I think, a real big theme of this channel in particular, something that I try to be an example of, and I think all of the people that are active in the chat here, active in the comments here, we try to be examples of that as well, is understanding that we ultimately don't know, but we're trying to have these open, honest discussions. We're trying to come together and share ideas and go through different ideas and philosophies, and whether they come from religion, science, whatnot, to explore the truth. I love that last part that she ends on, just embracing this idea of we don't know, as opposed to, okay, I've researched a bunch of religions and now spin a wheel, boom, Christianity, and everything that's Christianity is true and everything else is out. And now I know, and now I'm going to share the message. It's like, well, wait a minute. You didn't know a second ago while you were evaluating, and then you picked one, and then now you claim to know everything. Also, it's a subset. Like, this is not how information grows and how we operate in every other sector of life. Why this one? This is a massive scientific question. So I like that final theme. Anyways, I don't know all the ins and outs of her NDE, of her experience, of her seeing this light. Was it the artificial light that we talk about, the lure light, the trap light? Is this some sort of a manipulative NDE that has got her thinking this way? I don't know. Ultimately, though, I feel that the message she's extracted, regardless of the nature of the NDE, that's just so, it's gotta be right. How can anything, I guess it could be wrong, I suppose. I don't know. But if it just feels so in alignment with everything else that we've been reviewing and studying and talking about, this idea of being truthful, being honest, having integrity strengthens your discernment. I'm just saying anything is theoretically possible. Maybe it's like some sort of a warped message, but it doesn't seem like it. And again, so like I said, I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't know the exact nature of her NDE, of her seeing this light in her experience and how she's now come to this conclusion. Either way, in any way, I thought this was a very powerful video and a very powerful discussion about the power of integrity, the relevance of integrity and honesty, not as some society patting you on the back for being an upright citizen and being good members. No, it's not about that. It's about for you. It's about strengthening yourself, your own spiritual growth, and your own discernment, which I think will serve you more powerfully than anything else. Really, anything else, I think, is that level of discernment. That's where I'm at right now, anyways, in the journey. That's what I think. We'll see how that goes and how that changes and evolves as we continue this exploration. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Was this powerful for you as well? Do you have more thoughts to add? Do you have more things to share with me? And last but not least, let me know if there's things you want me to investigate. Tell me your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.